Steve Diamond, who joins us from Manchester. Steve, it's been it's been a disappointing week for rugby fans. They like to see everything finish up at 4:45 on final round day, but for you, you want the same. I mean, it's disappointing for you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to play today, and we took guidance and advice from the relevant parties, and the solution was found to put the game off till Wednesday and retest our players. So yeah, disappointed.
So you've got a bit of a...
As of Friday, we had 23 fit people, i.e. COVID negative. When we're retested on Tuesday, we can't get the testing moved to Monday for some reason. But when we're tested on Tuesday, if we've got another half dozen positive, which could happen, then we may not be able to fulfil the fixture. But as of today, we could fulfil the fixture.
I'm kind of confused about timelines and stuff. So we had the Prem Cup final, right? And everything is all good and well. Talk us through that kind of next day to kind of where we are now. What actually happened?
So the Prem Cup final was on the 21st. We were then tested on the Wednesday, the 23rd. And on the Thursday morning, the 24th, we had 100% of the playing squad were negative. On the Saturday, which is the 26th, 60 odd hours later, we were informed that one of the test results was wrong. In fact, one of the negatives was a positive. We immediately reacted. We followed all the protocols, including the track and trace on that.
So you had a player you thought was negative, training with the squad, and he was actually positive. Is that, in your opinion, the source of the infection? Don't
know, if I'm honest. If we all knew the source of the infection, we'd be telling the government. My name would be Whitty, not Diamond, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. And I'm not here to make cheap laughs, honestly, I'm not. It's really serious. But we followed all of those protocols right the way through that. After we isolated and went through all the correct procedures, we then went to Northampton and we played that game. We weren't tested again after the cup final. We only tested, so it was 6 days before we played Northampton. We were then tested on the Thursday after Northampton, this Thursday, and Friday morning there was 16 members of the squad were tested positive, which again we put them into isolation and the track and trace procedure was carried out. So for other players who'd come in contact over and above what the recommendation was in the protocols. I informed Worcester of this on the Friday morning just to give them a heads up, and PRL already knew because they get the test results. On Friday evening at 5:30, myself and our medical and our COVID lead represented Sale in front of an independent panel who were represented by the RFU, by PRL, and they had a virologist on there as well. The panel decided that Sale had done everything and went over and above in their due diligence to isolate these cases and the previous cases. That is fact and minuted. And they sought guidance from Public Health England. That guidance was given on the Saturday morning yesterday. And the advice that Public Health England said was delay the game, retest the Sales squad, and then we'll see where we are. And if it's okay, it can go on. PRL agreed with that, Worcester agreed with that, and Public Health England agreed with that. So we've followed every single protocol that has been given to us.
I think this what maybe concerns some of the other directors of rugby. Interesting from Pat Lam in our pre-show today before the matches. He said, I don't know what Sale have been up to. It was made clear we had to be safe. 19 is a lot of people, and that's why people are asking questions. Rob Baxter, it's that whoever plays Sale next will want to know some more detail on things, how things have got so bad and how it's been passed around so quickly and through so many people. Have you asked yourself that question, and have you got an answer?
Well, all I know is that we run a professional organisation, and there's no breach of protocols been done deliberately. And certainly every time we've come across a positive case, we've acted accordingly. And this is obviously national and a regional rise in these cases, and we are in an active area, obviously. But no, if I had answers to that, I possibly wouldn't be the rugby coach.
Are you concerned they may have picked up infection outside of the club?
Well, I think that's a concern for everybody, isn't it? In this day and age, the government recommendations, what we have to do, everybody is trying to adhere to them. But all I can say is that in the daily training regime environment at Sale Sharks, all the protocols are adhered to.
I should point out as well that part of that protocol, all the clubs have to film their training sessions, Ugo. So if something like this happens, PRL and an independent body can go to the club and look at the video and make sure there was distancing. Every club has to adhere to that. And I guess, Steve, they're the videos they're going to be looking at tomorrow, Ugo. But I mean, I guess the numbers are the issue, aren't they?
Yeah, the numbers are the issue, and as to how they've exponentially risen over quite a short period, gone from 2 or 3 to 19. I mean, listen to Steve, and I guess everything that he said's been verified from all the independent bodies. So it seems as if at training, under Sale's guidance, the protocols have been met. I'm not sure if this then leads us to another part of it, which is individual and social responsibility, because that for me might be the missing link. Because if everything on site is fine, but the players go off and do their own thing and then bring that back into the club, especially in these unprecedented times, then that might be a case as to why we've seen that growth.
Steve, you've talked about the players who tested positive having to now isolate. I mean, ahead of Wednesday, in terms of your playing numbers, you've got 23 as of yesterday that could have played, but it's going to put you under real pressure, not just for this game, but if you were to win it for the semi-final 3 days later.
Yeah, it would do. Well, it would do. But again, we attempted on Friday to register 2 players. And these weren't New Zealand All Blacks who we were pulling out of our hat. This was Sam Tuitupu, who's 38, and Neil Briggs, who's 36, to sit on the bench. And I needed them as extra cover. We were given confirmation we could do that at one stage, but then that was taken away by the RFU. So we were in the same boat as Northampton. So, but make no means about it, we were in a position today at 3 o'clock to have a strong starting 15 and a youthful bench. And if anybody wants to check my track record of putting young benches out, I've done it every year for the last 10. So there'd have been nothing really that strange about the squad that had gone out. It wouldn't have been my strongest squad, but if we get no positives on Tuesday, then you'll see it on Wednesday night.
Just picking up on Ugo was talking about there, Steve, you can control your players in the ground. When they leave the ground, they have to be responsible as individuals. That's what Ugo, I think, was insinuating there. I mean, what have you said to them about that? Has anyone kind of said hands up?
Just right the way through the whole process of the last 6 months, it's not a Premier Rugby protocol, is it? It's common sense, and we're living in uncharted waters with this illness. So we're not expecting people to go out and party. That doesn't happen. People have to be respectful and responsible when they're not in the training environment.
Even after a cup win, Steve? I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Young fellas after a cup win.
No, but even after a cup win, one, there's nowhere to go. 2, they're very responsible, and they wouldn't do that.
See, Steve, I agree with you. On the face of it, young professionals getting to the business end of the season, fully focused on trying to win trophies. You won one on the Monday night Premier Rugby Cup final. You got yourself semi-final. I can't ignore a lot of what's coming on my timeline, but there's a lot of rumours about players potentially going out, partying, socialising, mixing in to Greater Manchester and inner city Manchester, where the R rate is at, I mean, it's pretty high. Can you refute some of those claims and accusations that people are putting out there at the moment?
Yeah, it hasn't happened.
Simple.
Steve, talk to me about a possible semi-final then, because I can imagine you would have hoped the players who tested positive a week ago would have kind of fulfilled the full length of time in isolation to be able to go again. But we read today that's not the case. So it's going to be a tricky 2 games ahead of you, if not 3.
Yeah, well, I think the common sense approach is see what happens over the testing period over the next 48 hours, and if we can get out, then we've got to be able to beat Worcester, who are playing well. So I'm actually not looking at the semi at this moment in time. I'm looking at Worcester, who got a good result last time they went out. I know Alan Solomon's well; he'll send his best squad up to us, and we'll see where we go after that. maybe ask me the question on Wednesday night.
All right, might do. We'll be live there, actually. So you've given us a bit of work Wednesday night. Thanks for that double bubble. Nice one. Phil Winstanley joined us from Premiership Rugby earlier, and to be fair, he was really honest about the whole processes. Everyone seems to be, on face value, following the right processes. But it still hasn't worked because you still have 19 positive tests. We got another year of this possibly with COVID. It ain't going away. What needs to change, Steve, to stop the rumour, the counter-rumour, the accusations, to get it right, in your eyes, from what you've seen?
Well, I don't know the answer to it, Craig. I think what the Professional Game Board has done well is put together a set of standards that everybody's trying to adhere to. And we're coming into that uncertain time of the year. The clocks are about to come back, and you know, let's be honest, those who've done this job for a long time and the lads who've played, you know that the illnesses, the flus, the sore throats come around October time, and you know, we got the lockdown in spring, didn't we? So nobody knows. Certainly, I don't know where it's going to go. But I don't think we're going to be the first case where there's been several cases come out like this.
Are you nervous about the next couple of days?
No, not really. I think if there's more positive cases and we can't play, well, that's the way it is. We have to stomach that. If we can play, then we'll play and give it our best shot. But
4 or 5 more cases and your goose is probably cooked, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, look, best of luck. We want to see this season play out. It has been absolutely fantastic, and we want to see a right old battle to the final. Thanks for joining us, and good luck with the rest of the week. Take care of yourself. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
All right. All the best.